And here, so now, so you can see the room.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. Okay, so here, all right, now you're just going to mostly be seeing me, but they're seeing you really big here. If you want to see yourself.
Whoa.
Okay. Okay, and I won't draw a bow on you until the end, if I can figure that out, as we did during our practice.
That's good.
Okay. So, Michelle, they've been hearing me talk a lot for the past 5 weeks. Why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your social media background?
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Liz, for having me, and thank you, class, for listening and attending. I'm really excited to have this opportunity, so thank you. A little bit about myself is that back in 2002, I worked at University of South Florida, and where I was the marketing manager to put together a program where students would interact with each other. And this was before Facebook even existed. So created with a lot of programmers in-house a program called Mobile Messenger, and it would communicate with students similarly how Groupon does it. And this was before Groupon. So just being in technology and marketing led me to have the path of social media. So I was actually a New Yorker about 2 years ago. I lived in Manhattan, where I had a consultant, well, I still have my consulting company called Goldbug Group, which I started and worked on various clients from super small mom and pops to rather large companies, which I'm happy to talk about. And through that progression just led me into online digital marketing. So that's a little bit about me. Oh, and this is the first year I'm teaching, wrapping up my students for University of Florida's master's program in social media. So it's really exciting. It's the first graduating class, and if any of you want to reach out to me, feel free to funnel it either through Liz, or I'm happy to give you my information, however you want to do it.
Great, great. Well, so let's start. So I was telling Michelle about how the homework was which social media platforms are you going to use strategically to promote your work, and then Michelle showed me a very interesting flow chart, because right now she's working with a pharmaceutical company who I believe is giving you the content because it's so heavily regulated, right?
Exactly, and that's a good point.
They're probably the hardest to work with on social media, right, is finance and pharmaceuticals.
Exactly, because they're so heavily regulated. Now I don't have the client just yet, so this is a little confidential, I guess, but I want to share the principles of what the approach is for a company that's very highly regulated. So let me just pull this up. And basically, because they're so structured, I don't know if you could see this.
Okay, so now we're seeing a little. Do you want us to see all of it, or are you sort of scrolling down?
Well, I wanted you to see this bottom part first. So
okay.
They're going to give us the information.
So Strikers provides content. Okay.
And so then visually, that we use it to filter and figure out what I'm not sure I'm touching it, the social media platforms that are best. And then to communicate it further, we're going to drive engagement and increase fans. So this I like to represent kind of as the same plane, because they work hand in hand. Is increasing fans, you have to have great content in order to build that momentum of engagement. And then the whole purpose of social media for this campaign is to drive traffic to their website. So there's a little car there. They're driving traffic to the site. So that's a little flow chart of a situation that I'm working on right now, and proposed various options for them, whether I would write the content or if they would. So this is the best for them, is to create the content, have us social mediaize it for their various audiences, and then send it out.
Because it's so heavily regulated, every single time you you write social media copy, are they going to need to approve it, or are they going to, or do you think they're going to give you autonomy?
I think in the beginning they're going to write all of it because they're very nervous. They're brand new to social media. They know that their competitors are doing it and very active in those platforms. And go ahead.
So then it seems like you're going to be guiding them, right, to writing the best social content.
Yes.
And so what kind of tips then are you going to be giving them for engagement, right? Because that's something here that we all have to work on because, we can know what platforms to use and we can know the hashtags, but I mean, a lot of it is we've got to get that engagement, right? That's what's so hard.
Yes.
And that's why they're paying you the. Okay, so what are some of the tips that you're going to tell them that students here can benefit from?
Okay, great. I love this question. So what's going to be a great informational tutorial for them is to basically guide them to write content that is relationship driven, because a lot of times posts on any type of platform are just bulletin board style, like, look at what we're doing, this is what we're doing, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I like social media as a relationship. So if you think about it, if you are at a party networking, and if you just meet people and just talk about yourself the whole time, I really don't think you're going to make any friends. So I take that approach and I say, okay, the most important part about building relationships: credibility, trust, and listening. So if you're listening to your audience, and I use listening as asking questions. So we would create questions, or how do you feel about this, or polling, or information like a news jack taking an article and saying, this is our stance, what do you think about this? So even if it's not a direct question to them, getting them to think or respond, whether it's inspirational, share your story, tell us what you like, what do we improve, I think that's beneficial in increasing engagement.
So
another point.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, I say you're saying that, and that really sounds like that would work for Facebook, where you have more space. Do you think they'll be able to accomplish this on Twitter as well?
I think so. I think with Twitter, there's going to be a lot more content. And what I like about Twitter is how viral it gets, because they could retweet, they could repost, like tag specific people. A lot of their target audience will be doctors. So if they hashtag various organizations they're affiliated with, specific doctors that they're trying to reach out to, making those direct connections with a different type of conversation aimed to them versus the consumer side of it. So there's two different conversational platforms. One would be for the end user, and one would be for the doctor's education.
And do you think they'll be able to get good engagement on LinkedIn as well? Are they mostly then going to be, I guess, publishing it to their company page?
I don't think they weren't directed to do LinkedIn right now, even though I think it would be a great platform for them to directly talk to doctors, but they don't want to go that avenue just right now.
Oh, wait, so then maybe then in your flow chart then, which platforms are they going to be doing then? I thought I saw an IN, but maybe I didn't. What did I see?
Oh, those were just representations of social media.
Okay.
Those were just the icons of indicating social media.
Okay. So just soon we'll let you go because I know that you're just finishing up the day.
Okay. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Okay. Well, actually, here's one question though: is that what kind of a tip for engagement would you give journalists and writers who want to promote, and bloggers who want to promote their own work? How can they engage?
Oh, great. So I would suggest, from the experience that I've had, would be to think about your audience and how to involve them. So, for example, one of the clients I had worked with the Learning Channel, and they did a show about Alaska. So, from a journalistic perspective, you could have so many great tips and travel tips and news and information about Alaska, but how do you drive it home for that person who's sitting on their computer in an office? So put that framework in mind and think of how can I get them to respond to me. So for example, for Alaska, there was a segment about salmon fishing. So for the social perspective to getting people engaged, there was an educational lesson, how many people know how to fillet a fish. So we did a webcast of learning how to fillet. So this was kind of like an education spoof. And then we said, submit your favorite salmon recipes. And then we'll have another webcast of the winner's recipe of how to make it. So there's the education, tying it into the actual facts of the story of what you want to showcase, and then have an element of what somebody could do, like a how-to at home. Because if they are learning or inquiring or experiencing, they're going to be more vocal and want to get more involved, in turn be more engaged with you.
So I think that even if journalists and writers don't have a whole company behind them to help them create all that content, they can certainly use social media for sort of, I mean, it might not work, with your editor if she actually cut something, but there could be behind-the-scenes photos they could share.
Exactly. I think that's a great idea.
They could do. I mean, it's hard, or they could, just show like around. I mean, especially if you travel for a story, even if it's not a story about travel, but you can certainly, just show the area. Yeah, well, we'll go in a minute. But does anyone have any questions for Michelle about engagement or anything else, or the Learning Channel or pharmaceutical social media? Actually, here, and while people, Mai, do you? Here, I'm going to showcase one of the nifty special effects as you ask your question.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Oh, draw something.
One other thing I wanted to add is to think about humanizing the experience. So a lot of the reports are very direct. Think of how to humanize it, like what Liz was saying would be to go behind the scenes or to do something out of the norm, like something kind of to engage the spirit. Uh-oh, am I gone?
No. Here, oh. No. Oh, wait, do you not see me?
Oh, now I see you.
Okay, no, I was just getting the toolbox. Sorry. Okay. Okay, no, keep talking. Keep talking. Okay. I was just getting the toolbox.
So, yeah. Another idea would be to anything user-generated, not just posting your Twitter handle, but to say, what do you think? Pose a question. Get a debate going in journalism. Embrace people's difference of opinions. And I think that that will create more of a rich conversation, because engagement is not just like spitting out facts, it's getting people's viewpoints. So the more that you embrace a different viewpoint than your own, I think that you should cherish that moment in social media than saying, oh my gosh, everybody's against this idea. Should embrace it and manage it and monitor it to have that debate, to encourage conversations.
Great, well, thank you. Wait, yeah, unfortunately it didn't
Nope,
it won't draw on you. I know, let me draw a bow on her last time, because there's all these really funny things that you can do to spice up the Hangouts. We can take one more question, and then I'm going to let her go. Yes? Oh, here. Can you hear the question?
Can you hear the question?
Here, talk loudly. She probably can hear it if you talk loudly. Do you see Mai over there?
Hi!
Okay.
So my question is, which websites are your favorite for sources of content? Like, for example, I don't know, like, to put content on.
Oh, are you saying like when you need to keep keep it going, and you're not just because you don't want to just promote your own stories. Is that what you mean? Right, because which you shouldn't. You should point to other. That's a great idea. Yes, that's right. So she's asking
I'm sorry,
like.
I couldn't hear you. I heard what is your favorite website, and then I couldn't hear the rest.
Wait, now my thing is having technical difficulties.
Sorry.
Ah, okay, you're back. No, it's all this. Okay. Okay, so no, this was having some technical difficulties because it didn't like me. So, Mai was pointing out that as a journalist, it's bad form to just only post your own work. But she's saying, what are your favorite sources then of a place to find other great stories to post?
Oh, okay. I would say it depends on the topic. You know, I think that the best example would be that if somebody is just writing a story, you want to get from all angles. So some of the websites I would look for would be, depending on the topic, would be like Mashable, CNN, USA Today, BBC, any publication that has that world view. I would even look at Fox News, even though they're skewed on their position, but getting a full framework of how people are discussing that same topic and what's the different angles that they're coming from. I really enjoy different blogs, so I'm happy to share that. I just can't think off the top of my head my morning bookmarks, but be happy to send it to you, some of those links.
Well, that's a great idea. Thank you. Great. So does anyone have any other questions? So basically, the fun stuff I think doesn't work possibly because we're on air and we're live. I think that might be why you can't the apps. Because I think that this is an amazing. I mean, I know people do Skype, but this to me is so much better than Skype and so much easier because if people are on Gmail, you can video chat, any day you want, and then we're recording. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So we'll make a video, and I'll show the video. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, can we give her a round of applause? Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and hopefully all will go well in finding now the link to the video. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.